Like people say, Stephon Marbury, you're the most reviled athlete in New York sports history. How do you feel about that? I'm like, I'm from New
That's
York.
my mark.
It's okay.
Morning, Jay.
How we doing?
Doing great. Welcome back, everyone, to Club 30.
Yeah, it's another beautiful day in Midtown Manhattan.
Midtown Manhattan, that's right. Today's guest, he was the big star for the Knicks when I arrived in New York City back in 2005. People might not know this, but Rangers and Knicks, we have practice facility up north where we go every day. We don't, obviously, there's no time to practice at Madison Square Garden because there's so many events going on. So you do get an opportunity to run into the Knicks guys and say hello here and there, but you also run into them at different events.
Yeah.
That was the case. Me and this guest today. Incredible story when you read up on obviously his NBA career, his commitment to the game, but also his time in China. We're talking about Stephon Marbury.
Yeah. We're the same age, but he was one of my childhood heroes, high school, college. Always loved his game. This highlight reel kind of guy. He's the kind of player that you just can't stop watching.
A lot of flair.
A lot of flair. A lot of New York swag.
Good way of putting it. But let's get him in here. I have a lot of questions for him, especially about his time in China. Very interesting stuff.
Let's see where this goes.
After an iconic NBA All-Star career, he became a legend in China, a Brooklyn native, today a businessman and philanthropist. Welcome to Club 30, Stephon Marbury.
Yes.
Thank you, my brother.
Thanks for being here. Actually, we tried to get you on the show already last season, but you were flying back to China. Reading up on your career, very, very interesting career, playing for so long in the NBA. Then you decide to move to China and play there. You become this legend. But can you talk about the first experience when you go there to play? I mean, how much did you know what you were walking into? And take us through the start.
Well, thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate it. The legend, the king himself. Come on, thank you. I mean, with such honor. When you asked me to come on the show, I was like, for real? I was like, of course I will come on. I just had to make the times work. As you said, I was going back and forth to China, but here we are. But, for me, having that experience, growing through all of what I grew through, to be able to go someplace and be able to have another opportunity to try to do it again, but someplace where I learned and I had an opportunity to grow from a situation. So being able to play basketball there has been great, but being able to immerse into the culture has even been even better.
You said opportunity. We were talking on the car ride up about, when something comes to its natural end, it's very easy to say that was a good run. And now I'm going to just hang around, figure something out. But you saw China as an opportunity where most people might say that sounds complicated, or that sounds scary, or that sounds how did it feel right for you? What was inside of you that made it feel that's a natural progression?
Well, at that time I was super depressed, and I was really in a mental space where, I told somebody, I was I wanted to kill myself, and it was oh, you wanted to kill yourself? I said, that's how I felt. It's a feeling. I lost all of these different people in my life. After that, I felt like I wanted to kill myself when my dad died because I couldn't stand the pressure of how I felt. But I didn't act on it. I'm here to speak to you and talk to you about it, right? So I just shared with you, and you used that against me and tried to make me feel a certain way. So when I went to this place, I left that to go to a place where people were looking at me oh my God, I can't believe that you're here. And I'm looking at them I'm in this depressed state, as a human being looking for, my mother says, one thing when you want something, but when you need something. And I needed something at that moment. When I went to China, I needed to be cared for. I needed to be loved. I needed to be told that you can still play. You can still do this. You can still do that. Because Yeah, people still love me home, but home in New York.
Complicated.
This make you into this to be able to sit down and talk about this.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? That's what New York is. It's that type of pressure. It's either gonna bust a pipe or it's gonna build a beautiful diamond. You know what I'm saying? That's what kind of.
So
New York
what was it? A combination of how you felt on the court, or was it mostly
Everything.
off court?
It was
things?
off the court. It was on the court. I mean, I finally was inside of an environment that it consisted of constant energy of giving the player and athlete the energy needed on the court to play its maximum potential, from the fan being a fanatic, like cheering, like playing in the playoffs, every shout, defense, you hear it, boom, boom, loud, every score, you know what it is. I went to the Ranger. I told you I went to the Ranger game. I was like, I understand the score now. When the score, everybody jump at the same time. It's a different type of rush. It's a different type of feeling. Yeah. So I can only imagine as the players playing, like what they feeling. So it's different. And when I identified with this feeling being at the game, I was like, this is like China. Like the fans, like that's but it's consistent though. Like, you listen to the hockey, you listen to when they score in the playoffs or in the finals, that feeling that you feel when you hear the goal and the right? Yeah. It's all together. It's like a mixture, right?
Yeah.
It's like that mixed with the way when you playing in the playoffs and the finals in China, it's inside of Wukason, the arena where they held the first Olympics at. Like, my man, it's like everybody at the same time shouting at the same time, and you can feel the power of it every single time. And
they're in sync as they're chanting everything, even the movements.
The movement.
Yep.
So, and then, they watched you the whole season. So they watch you play. So it's like when you watch and you like, oh, he should be making that play to him and they should be making that 3-point shot. And it's exactly like that. It happens. And then everybody scream at the same time. Like we won a game to go into the finals. We played against our rival, basically like playing against now, like they're like the Lakers and the Celtics in China. And we played them the first year we played them. We beat them, Like, they had like 7 national team players in my first year when we beat them. This is how they built a statue of me. So we beat these guys, right? And then we played them again to go to the finals. Then we beat them the second year to go to the finals. Off of a last second shot, I shoot the basketball, I miss. The ball has so much backspin, the ball froze right where my teammate could just tap it right next to the hoop. All he had to do was go like this. He jumped. He's like 6'10". He jumped. The ball went right to his hand and spun right there. And all he had to do was tap it. And then we won at the buzzer. And we went to the finals. And we won our 3rd championship.
And that's when it talks about a statue.
2 statues after that.
How are they looking? I've seen them, a few statues in my life from athletes or rock stars. They're like, are you happy with your statue?
I'm more than happy.
Did you get to see it before they revealed it?
I saw some of it, but I know, but I can identify with Dwayne Wade and what he's saying as far as it was that moment, but they didn't get the moment right from the expression of your face of how they're supposed to draw your face. They're supposed to make your face look like your face, not like someone else in that moment. So me in that moment, when I see me, I know me in that moment when I see it, because that pose is iconic in China. It's everywhere. That's
so cool.
When I'm holding up the statue, under the statue it says the moment the trophy was held in Chinese. And then it has everyone's name and all of that. So my statue was received because I couldn't win MVP. Only a local kid can win. So the people in Beijing, they were like, hold up. We giving the MVP to a guy who averaged, no disrespect, because my backcourt mate, without him, we couldn't have won. We wouldn't have won. So when he gave it to him, I was like, he's the person that should get it. He guarded all of the best players throughout the whole playoffs. All of the top foreign players, he guarded all of them, made all of the big plays, big shots. So he deserved it. So it wasn't about numbers. Yeah, I averaged almost 39, 40 points, and I led the team, and I did the heavy lifting. But without him, we don't win. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like he should have won. So the people in Beijing was like, okay, so being that you can't win MVP, if 1 million people vote for you to win a statue, we're going to build a statue. So and 500,000 people voted in like 3 seconds. So they was like, Stephon Marbury is going to get a statue in Beijing. And during this time, that's when, I was being courted to come back to the NBA. And I was like, it was my business manager. He was like, man, you could go back to making like $20 million a year. Because during this time, I'm making like $600,000, $700,000. When I was playing with the Knicks, I was making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to stay. He was like, you going what? I said, dude, they're about to build a statue. I was like, how do I leave that?
So when was that conversation? Was that like a couple of years in?
No, this was the first.
So we're talking 14 years ago. Yeah.
In 2012, the Rockets were calling, asking. Kevin McHale was trying to get me to come back.
But can we go back, just talking about that transitioning, flying over from the States, not feeling great with life or where you're at, and you go there. You talked about what you needed as a person and what you received from the people in Beijing. It's very fascinating to me how that can really, as an athlete, you're so focused on what you need to do, and you kind of, what you need to do. It's still a big task in terms of the commitment and training and the mental, preparation. But when you go there and feel that much love and support, how much that changed your energy?
It changed my life. It changed the way how I communicated overall as a human being. Because I think, when you go someplace completely different from where you're born, and you now live and you drink and you eat and you poop and you pee in the same places, the way how people poop and pee, and they different. They poop different. They don't poop the same way that everybody else poop. They squat when they go to the bathroom. So it's squatters. So when my kids came to China, my kids walked into the rest stop when they were being driven from Hong Kong into mainland, and they had to stop. My kids was like, Daddy, there was poop. I had to poop, like pull my pants down and squat. And my daughter was like telling the story. She was like, what do you want me to do? Am I supposed to pull my pants down like that? And then I'm supposed to do that? She never seen it before. So now I got to teach her why, and for the congestive system, why it works and why it's better when you go to the bathroom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So teaching her, like, when a woman has a baby, she should have a baby squatting opposed to having it laying down, because that's really for the doctor, right? The center of gravity, if the woman has the baby, so it's different. It's only for the doctor to see and do all of what he's doing. It's not for the woman. You know what I'm saying? So, like, now she's like learning, and at the same time, she's like learning about the culture. And as she grows and go on, and now she's older, as she knows, she's like, wow, it's so different. And now she's 25. This is when,
So the kids were how old when you guys moved?
No, my kids didn't move there. My kids would just come and visit.
Oh, they
still came and went to school, so they'll come and stay for a month and a half.
Yeah.
So when they were coming from Hong Kong, they had to go from Hong Kong and then go into mainland, right? So when they go into mainland, it's different than other places. But now it's different. So if they go now, when they go there, they're gonna be like, oh, you go to the bathroom now in China, you pissed, it'll test your urine for you to tell you if you need to go to the doctor.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's completely different now. It's like now it's different squat. Now it's like there's a whole sanitized system there when you go to the bathroom. So it shows how technology and how things have elevated and evolved.
I mean, playing there, living there, probably maybe, I'm guessing, changed your perspective on life. How about basketball, the actual game? Did that change at all?
It did. It's interesting because the way they practice, right? They practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 9 to 12, and then from 3 to 6.
Wow.
And then Thursday is, that's like, they call it like a recovery day, but that's only 3 hours in the morning. And then afternoon off. And then Friday, same schedule. 9 to 12, 3, 6. Saturday, same thing. And Sunday off. That's
a lot of hours on the court.
Yeah.
That's a lot of hours on the court. Okay. I tried to massage it as I was there winning championships. It got massaged, but my coach is militant. And his system is on the clock. I tell people, I'm like, okay, so we're about to be finished with practice in 3, 2, 1, and practice be over. And they be like, how do you know? I sync my watch with his watch. So I know his mind, you got to work this amount of hours, you got to work this amount of time in order to achieve what it is that you got to achieve. This is Chinese militant style basketball coach. I love him. I was just talking about him for like an hour with my translator, who's receiving all of the energy from him right now and as they play in the season.
But did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed being able to get back into the space of constantly focusing on my fundamentals, because what it did in reverse, it helped me become sharper on the court. So I felt like I was the best basketball player that I could possibly be on the court was when I was in Beijing playing. That's when I was like I could see everything happening before it was happening, like playing on the court style.
And that had never...
You know that, like you could see the goal, or you could see like, oh, he is right there. You think you're gonna trick me with that BS play you did the other day, coming full speed at me just because you coming fast? Your training didn't work.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that type of energy was happening on the court, and it's time, because now I've trained, I've practiced for so many years, and now everything came together. Like,
and that edge, that sharpness, you felt like that wasn't quite there in the NBA? I mean, you're a two-time All-Star.
I don't feel like it was at a level where I was there mentally, physically, spiritually. I was just in the right space. I wasn't in the right space during that time playing in the NBA.
Okay.
I didn't evolve as a human being and grow through the things that I grew through when I was playing in Beijing. Like losing my father, that was traumatic for me. Like I'm on the court hooping in the garden, and my pops is being rushed to the hospital, you know, and he passes away. And it was just a lot. But to be able to move past that and to be able to evolve into another space and to try to transition on your own after that is hard. So going to China, I removed myself from, my situation to create a different situation. But I came back. Yeah. So, it was real. That hat is real. I like that hat.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
How fast did you feel that love and support over there? Was it day one you arrive and it was like everybody's just so excited to see you?
When I first arrived, there was like 5,000 people there at the airport. And I was going down the escalator and my friend was like, it's a lot of people, yo. Why
did you know what you were walking into?
I had no clue. I never been to China. Only thing I knew about China was Yao Ming and the Great Wall. What got me was when it was like, yo, my company's failing. I'm doing Starbury, my brand. I'm selling $15 shoes. I'm selling more shoes than Michael Jordan at the time. Now my joint go, everything going wrong with the Knicks. Everything going bad. Everything is crazy. I'm in a spot. I'm like, well, what I'm going to do next? My company is about to die. Yeah. My friend goes, there's like 300 million people that play basketball there trying to register?
No.
That's a lot of people.
What? Yeah. I said, 300 million people that hoop? That's what I said. He said, yeah. that hoop, that play basketball, they play in this register. I said, you doing your brand? I was like, this is how they gas me up to go. China's way bigger. It's like coming to New York trying to penetrate, crack the code.
Yeah.
I didn't know all of what was going to happen during this time. I didn't know I would evolve during that time, right? But I go there, and all of that happened. They showed me mad love. 5,000 people at the airport. That's the end. It's been positive ever since then.
It's amazing.
Now.
That's incredible. I mean, going there not knowing really what to walk into. The biggest difference in let's talk about culture.
I went to Shanxi. I didn't go to Beijing first. That's what people don't even know. I went to the grit and grind first. I went to where is the coal mine at.
How was that? Just the difference in culture, language.
Everything. Structurally, going there, me in the room, I'm in the room, you don't understand me, I don't understand you. We looking at each other in the eyes. You trying to feel my vibe, I'm trying to feel your vibe, and they looking at me like, you crazy. And I'm looking at them like, I'm here.
Yeah.
And your mantra was just like, positivity, this is going to work.
First of all, I got God on my side. That's first. Second, my mom was like, China's far, but God is everywhere. So you good. And I was like, I'm good. If I'm making this decision to do it, I prayed about it after I talked to my family and everything was up on that. You know, it wasn't like I just bounced. It took me 30 days to make the decision to leave.
Yeah.
But during this time, everything was in distress. So I'm like, I'm not going to make $20 million in an NBA no more. That's dead.
Yeah.
Right? So I said, I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to bounce. I'm gonna go someplace else. I'm gonna try something else.
Steph, you talked a little bit earlier about your backcourt mate in the finals the first year, the MVP. How'd you feel his vibe? How did you guys build chemistry?
We both wanted the same thing. We both wanted to prove and we wanted to win. He was a Taiwanese kid playing in the Chinese league, so it's always competition with the time. Exactly. Yeah. So he came. He got hurt, and we won the first 13 games of the season. Never been done. History, right? That's like winning like 39, 30, 32 games in the NBA because it's 82. We was only playing in a 32-game season.
Wow,
right?
So half of the season.
Basically,
undefeated.
we rolling.
Yeah.
He gets hurt. We lose. We go 1-9 when he goes out. So I spent like, everybody was looking at me. They're like, why do you spend so much money for your trainer to live in China? You got a trainer, you pay for him to live here. I said, when I get on a court, I don't feel no pain. During the game and after the game, the way you feel, I don't feel the way you feel. So my recovery time is way different. So when I play against you tomorrow, I'm going to destroy you because I already know your left hip and your knee hurt. And I'm going that way every time. I'm blowing by you. I'm at the basket. I'm scoring. We're going to blow you out. You can't guard me. I'm breaking it down. So I use my guy for him to pay for him to get his body right. And my trainer was like, you sure about this? I was like, yeah, we need him. So I spent probably $100,000 on him without him even knowing. We won. I got a statue out of that.
And you guys still boys today? You're tight?
If I call him right now, it'd be just like nothing. It'd be like we left off when we won the championship. We'll start talking about that.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So our path, I think we go back to my first couple of years playing in Rangers? New York. You were the star for the Knicks.
When you came
and
in,
I was trying to understand what was going on in New York City. Yeah. And you know, for you, being a New York kid, what was the feeling like representing the Knicks, playing at the Garden? Was that something you were thinking about growing up as a kid? Was the Knicks the team?
That's the only thing.
That's the only team.
Come on. Yeah. I'm from New York. Yeah. I play basketball. Where else would you think about playing? It's the best place on the earth to play sports if you're going to get the opportunity. If you go and play, even when they play tennis, they be hyped to play inside the Garden. Okay, so, you know, growing up, first they used to play the high school championship inside of like the the Forum area. It was what's the name of it? I can't think of it. It was another area that it's where they do all of the theater shows.
yeah.
They used to play the championship games there. And as a kid, basically, high school PSL championship, that's a big thing in New York. Like when that is happening during these times. So now they put the games here. So my brother goes to play there, and I'm a little kid, and I'm like, I'm going to be playing here one day. I can't wait. And every time I go run on the court, as soon as I get there, and somebody pulling me off the court. And then I was the kid that kept running on the court trying to get the ball. And then they was like, just let him shoot. So then they see me shoot, and they like, yo, little man can really shoot. Like, he's nice. Who is this kid? It was like, oh, that's another Marbury kid. They be like, they got another brother, right? So now I'm like, I'm telling them, I'm gonna play in Madison Square Garden one day, and they was like, Madison Square Garden, nah, man, they're not gonna let y'all play on Madison Square Garden court. They'll never let y'all play on there. Some guy said this, and I'm like, you just don't know. He was like, who are you, little kid? Who are you? And then they moved the game from there. When we started playing, they moved it inside of the Garden. So playing in Madison Square Garden, it started from a deep root from when we younger, from when we in junior high school, when we playing in AAU to play on that court. Because we felt like if you get on that court, you're going to make it to the NBA.
Yeah.
So playing in there in high school, that's why it was so important. It wasn't so important to play on there because the Knicks played on there.
Yeah.
It's because of the magic of Madison Square Garden. You get it?
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right.
So thinking back of the years playing for the Knicks, any favorite moments as a player?
The first time I stepped on the court, that was my favorite moment. My two favorite moments, when I first stepped on and when I first left. Those are my favorite moments because during that time, that's when I had the most humbling experience. When I had to sit on a bench and I was prepped and prepared and ready to play. As an athlete, when you're in your tip-top shape and you go on and you have your best season, but you know why you did that. You know the work that you put in every day that nobody saw.
Yeah.
And I did that. And that moment, it was like, I had to tell somebody, the same thing I told somebody today. I was like, you can still work hard and fail. And your work that you put in when you failed at what it was that you did, that work doesn't go away. You still build. Yeah. You just got to try again. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's how I looked at it.
When we grow up as kids and we dream about making it to the big league, it's not always that your dream is in sync with the reality, in terms of what the game brings you, what you feel. A lot of things, yes, but there's always a certain amount of things that surprise you when you make it. Was there anything that when you made it to the NBA that you're like, oh, wow, I didn't expect this? Playing or whatever. Anything that came with the territory of being an NBA star?
My first year, the thing that my oldest brother, God bless his soul, he's not here anymore. He used to tease me. Like, you think you gonna go on the NBA court playing with that frail ass body? I keep telling you gotta do more push-ups and more pull-ups and you gotta get in the gym. I'm like, I don't need to do that. It's gonna make me heavy and I'm gonna lose my speed. I'm gonna lose all of my speed if I put on all of that weight. He was like, you gonna lose your speed? He was like, all right, go in the NBA trying to play with that speed and not have that power and not have that. Go try it. And I went and I tried it. It didn't work out well. Yeah. That's why they say the NBA is no boys allowed. Okay? Don't get it twisted. Yeah. You come in there, you not no man, and you go up against Shaq and you get hit, for real get hit, it's a different type of feeling.
Henke, obviously the goalie position's different, but coming from Sweden, obviously the NHL is much more physical than the European game. Did you notice like a change in like something in you that said, I have to get stronger or I have to?
Not so much stronger. It was more adjustment in my game. It was in Europe, there's a bigger rink. So I think it's more, you have more time to get into position. Here, it's a tighter rink. The players are better. The shooters are better. So everything is quicker too. It's quicker to the net. So that was the big adjustment for me coming from Europe to the US and just understand that it's not so much about the first shot. It's about what happens on that second, third opportunity. If I'm too aggressive, if I'm too far out. So it was more about coming back in closer to the net to make sure I'm in good position for second and third opportunity. That was the biggest thing. And I always felt confident squaring up against a shooter back home. Here, for the most part, yes, but you always had a few guys on every team that can just shoot it so much better. Where you're like, oh yeah, I'm in good position. I got this. And boom, I guess I didn't have it. Like they surprise you how and we're talking 20 years ago now.
Sure.
Today, guys are shooting so well because the stick technology has gone up and most guys can really shoot. But back then, I felt like you had a few guys on every team that can really bomb it. And then there was a few guys that were okay shooting. But just the quality of shots changed and the intensity around the net changed.
Interesting. This is fun. You know, I was getting ready for this episode, Steph, and I was thinking about like your cultural impact you've had on the game in China, New York City, the NBA writ large. But growing up, I grew up, in a hockey family, hockey town, but I loved hoops. And I was reflecting the other day because Vince had his jersey retired for the Raptors. But growing up, we're the same age. We didn't have the Raptors. Like we had to, as kids that were basketball fans, there's no internet, right? We couldn't go on YouTube to see stuff. The first basketball influence in Toronto was these And One mixtapes. You remember this stuff?
Yeah.
And One was like this counterculture, like street ball movement. But it was hard for us to get content. And I think like your impact, that movement of like getting kids to the playgrounds instead of going to the hockey rink was big because now in Toronto, more kids play hoops than they play hockey.
Really?
And that's wild.
Wow.
And it all
I didn't
started
know that.
in the mid 90s when we started getting these little snippets of, like ball is a real thing,
Well, when you come from New York, right, it's like you try to like give people the grace of being in other places where they come from because New York street is always considered as like the best, high fashion, but it is what it is. Me playing basketball, growing up in New York, high school basketball, Mr. Basketball, all of the accolades that I received, you get the New York grace. You get to see all of that. So, for me, being part of basketball and fashion and, all of it being entwined in one, you just be yourself and you just put your flavor on it. You put your style on it and people remember that. And that's how they remember you by as far as like, and it being a signature of who you are as a person when people see you. It's like you put those type of marks on people. Like people say, Stephon Marbury, you're the most reviled athlete in New York sports history. How do you feel about that? I'm like, I'm from New York.
my mark.
It's okay.
So who influenced you as a kid? Who was your
Magic?
Yeah.
Magic that's my favorite. I always loved how he made everybody, like, it wasn't just him shining, it was everybody shining. Worthy, you know what I'm saying? Worthy, Cooper on the wing, Byron Scott, you know what I'm saying? Kareem.
What do you think about the current NBA? I assume you watch a lot of games still. I see you at the Garden a lot. Do you have any players that you're watching right now you feel like, wow, I really love his style of play? Or
I'm a big Jalen Brunson fan because I'm a Knicks fan. So I'm biased to a point, but I keep it 100. The whole planet should be on notice with Wemby because he's getting stronger. And now he's playing with Chris Paul, which I said, I say Chris Paul got to be like the luckiest point guard. Like, to be able to just toss the ball up in the air and dribble the basketball and make pocket jump shots and knock down shots and play a long 20-year career and then end up playing with Wemby.
I know.
It revitalizes your career. It revitalizes your doings as a older player. You won't eat that and drink that, and you'll work out in the morning and at night because you know you play with Wemby.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That guy is incredible, and he said after the Olympics, everybody should just be on notice.
Yeah.
So I like that he told the planet that, because he really considers himself as an alien, like it's on his shoes, all of that. Like the kid is serious.
Yeah.
He's real freakish. Look at him Halloween. He's not, he's telling you who he is. So listen to what he's saying.
Yeah.
All right. So when I see that and I'm like watching him, I'm like, I've been calling him the face. Like, I don't want to say the NBA. I'm just going to say the face. Louis Vuitton already got him. It's perfect. He's a great looking kid. He's tall. He's different. He's different.
Yeah, and I think he's interested too. He's
yes,
curious.
very much so. He does things the way how he does things the way how you, as a parent, you want your child to do things like that.
Totally.
Do you have a top 3 of all time in the NBA? It's always a conversation. Like who
I know.
Michael Jordan to me shouldn't be put in a category. So I go Kobe, then I go LeBron, Magic, Shaq. You could go Kareem, you could go Will, Bill, but as players, I don't go by what guys did on the quarters with their teams. I go by what your game was, like how you played. If I take your game and put your game anywhere, could it win anywhere?
And that's why MJ's in a different category.
I put him in it's Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Let's move on from basketball a little bit. You've been the subject of documentaries throughout your life. You even inspired a Spike Lee film. Is that something that, moving forward, you want to do more films and media?
Of course, media, film. All of the things. I had my own TV show called Stars on Stars. I interviewed, my lineup was Kobe Bryant, Vijay Singh, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Spike Lee, Adam Sandler, Vijay Singh, I said him right, Rudy Johnson, Sean Merriman. So doing media, and I did that during the time period like guys are doing now with doing podcasts. I was doing a TV show. I funded it. I paid for it. I shot it. It was on Fox Sports Net. I was on a 3:30 time slot. Who gets that time slot? But I had a 17% increase in that time slot. I'm like, nobody's watching in between 3:30 and 4:30. But the older people watched it and they enjoyed it because the things that we spoke and talked about. So media is something that I'm heavily, involved in what it is that I'm doing. I'm more so on the back end of it, and especially in China. Doing all of what's being done right now, doing live streaming, and I did all that stuff. I did it when I was eating Vaseline. Right? You laugh. So you're good.
I remember.
Right? So for me, now coming back home, I want to work with MSG. Like I want to do stuff with the team that I grew up loving. I've been there, I've seen it, and it's honest.
Yeah. I think it's pretty amazing, like the embrace from the Knicks and the city upon your return. Like, how good did that feel?
I felt exactly like how I felt when I first came. It's like I said, it's like New York is my big brother, right? Your big brother could do anything to you, right? But you can't do anything to me. But your like another city, another place. New York could talk whatever they want to say about me. You could write whatever you want to write about me. I know you since I was a little kid.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So it's cool. So it's to be able to feel that love in the fans and people know that I'm here to give real input about the team and to be a part of that. I'm just thankful to God for that. For real.
Word.
And when you walk in, that doesn't make you reflect on basketball and
everything.
Everything. I just love every time I go back. I mean, it's every week now. If it's for Knicks or Rangers or concerts, and it makes you appreciate the years you had as an athlete, but now just creating new relationships, and there's so many fun people coming there, and you know, I just love the energy,
Exactly,
and to be part of it. And it makes me happy to say that you want to be part of it, even though you've been.
What they're doing is great though. Like what Wes and what Leon is doing by bringing all of the alumni back and having alumni roll with guys if they want to go to the game and for them to come to root the team on. And Jalen made a great point during the playoffs. That helps. Cause I'm over there screaming, "It's time to go! It's time to go!"
I've seen that.
You know, to the basket, downhill. They hear that.
Yeah.
You know, you hooping on the biggest stage. You know what I'm saying? It's like to be able to like be there to give that. You know, with all of my experiences that I went through, and then now people know like Steph he's in the space of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's
what a privilege.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's nice.
It's wild that from a regular guy that's lived in New York for 25 years or almost, it's like two ambassadors of each of your like New York sports, one from small town in Sweden, one from Coney Island. That's why New York is so fucking great, right?
Amazing.
Right? Because you're thought of the same way in each of your sports. Which is like, they feel that brotherhood, that loyalty. And I think when New Yorkers feel loyalty, like that big brother.
You know that. Yeah. That's it. If you rep NY, people know when you rep NY.
Yeah.
There's no fronting in that.
Yeah.
The city's so nice, they named it twice. New York, baby.
Steph, you've been very charitable throughout your life, throughout your career and post-career. And what does giving back mean to you?
I had Strawberry Give Back Day. I had 3 tractor trailers come to Coney Island, and people invited all 5 boroughs to come to Coney Island. I had the tractor trailers pull up and turn backwards and open up, and then all of the people from New York came to Coney Island, and there was a line that filled the whole street up of people getting shoes and clothes and all different stuff that I had paid for them to have. And people was like, why are you just giving it to me? I was like, because they need it. This is not what they want right now. This is what they need right now. So I did things like that because of the pulse of my community and what we needed during a specific time, because it's hard to take care of a lot of people. But you can help a lot of people, right? You can't take care of a lot of people, but you can help a lot of people. So my way of giving back is not just by giving money, it's by giving your time and your energy and giving your spirit to the people that can see you in a positive light and only in a positive light, because no one is perfect, but to be able to allow people to know that you're flawed and that you have mental illness problems just like they have mental illness problems. And we all experience the same things in this life that we live. And my community felt those things from me. That's part of my charity, like trying to revitalize my community.
That's great. And we started the show talking about the struggles you had before moving to China. When you start publicly talking about that, have you felt a lot of people, want to reach out and talk about their own struggles and how you inspire them in their 100%. Moments?
I have. I've spoken to a lot of people. I've reached out to Isaiah Thomas during the time when his sister had passed away. You remember during the playoffs, and then he had surgery on his hip. And basically from then to now, his career pretty much took a big turn. He was averaging like 30 in the playoffs in the Eastern Conference Finals. He's 5'8". Come on, this is a miracle.
Yeah.
And I'm watching him cry, and I'm watching him pour his heart out about how he lost his sister and how when he was everything. So I located and I found him, and I reached out to him. I didn't know him. I knew of him, probably seen him when he was younger, because I know some Jamal Crawford, Seattle. And I took him under my wing with my trainer to get his hip so he didn't have that feeling that he was feeling in his hip so he could play. Because as an athlete, if you're restricted and you're a guard and you can't go when you want to go, your hamstring and your hip and those two things, you don't mess with them two things. Right? And then your adductors, when you get the growing paul, that's it. That's the major injury. I had a hockey injury, bad growing tear I had. They was like, this is a hockey injury. Hockey players get these all the time from when they on the ice. And I was like, all right, so you got to train different and you got to recover different. It's different protocol. So I got my trainer to work with him, and over a year, he basically was like, you got to let me take Chris. I need him to be with me the whole time. So then he took him, and then now my trainer was with him for like 2 years. And he was like, this is the best thing that ever happened to my career. Because now I'm healthy, but people don't know that I'm healthy. So I'm trying to get on the court to show so he keep working out. So that's what it's about for me. Like, that was like one of the most pivotal moments in my life of me doing something for an athlete, because it went from watching him on TV and then from him going from being in pain, for him going to pain-free. And as an athlete, if somebody could come and do that for you and help you, and I had to meet with him to help him. He was breaking down in tears, crying. We both was crying because we both was talking about how he was feeling as an athlete, how he was so constricted. As a guard, he couldn't make no moves. All his power going one way. All my power is, and he started talking about this, and I'm listening to him. I'm like, wow, I know my trainer. If you do the work, he'll help you, because it's not my trainer's from Germany, so it's not traditional style massage. It's like elbows and different type of flush. So he did it, and he was like, man, if everybody did this, nobody would feel the way how they feel on the court. And I was like, it's special. He can't do this for everybody. I was like, it's for you. I was like, and what's for you is for you. That's what God got for you is for you. It's for you. If it's not, it's not. That right there was one of the best moments I had. And he don't even know that, but he don't know.
That's incredible.
That's cool.
Yeah,
We got to get
awesome.
Chris's number. Sounds like miracle worker.
Miracle worker.
Yeah.
Chris Hoffman.
Chris Hoffman.
That's
Shout
the
out
guy.
to Chris.
You were so kind. You brought these glasses.
We got the Camelos, baby.
Oh, yeah. We got him here.
Yes.
Throw those on, Hanky.
So if you press that button and you hold the button, hold up. Where's your phone at? You got your phone?
Oh, it's down here.
Okay, so let's do this right. So we make this right. It's a button on the bottom, right? Let's get the Bluetooth first. Let's get the Bluetooth. Go to Bluetooth. So when they come up, it's going to say Music Shield. So you hold the button down.
Let's see here.
Well, he sucks at tech, by the way.
Yeah.
It's going to be 10 minutes.
You good. You Bluetooth and then hold that button down hard. It's going to come up and then you press it, turn your music on, you in.
How did the Camelo thing start?
I met this guy at the Hong Kong Jockey Club through one of my friends in the investment world. And he introduced me to this guy. He was like, yo, this guy, he has these glasses with this technology inside them. They pretty sick. I want to introduce you to him. So I meet the guy. He showed me. He was like, oh, yeah, we could play music on the glasses and we could change the tint. I looked. I was like, yo, how did you do that? He was like, oh, this technology is a liquid crystal method that we use. We put this on top of glass and then we run a wire on the side and with electricity, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I didn't know any of it at that time. And then he was like, if you slide your finger on the right or the other side.
Yeah, let's cut back to camera one here.
Hold up. Did you slide?
What did I slide? Forward?
Oh, yeah, I can see the
Oh,
tip.
what the hell happened there?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me.
Way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it go in and out. And you can turn your music on. Did the Bluetooth?
Okay. Put some tune on here.
Drown us out here, Hank. We'll just make fun of you when you're listening. And it's
So
all like
then basically, he introduced me. He showed me the glasses.
Oh, yeah.
After he showed me the glasses, I was like, I said, you got $1 billion project right here. He was like, yeah. I was like, this technology could go in. He was like, yeah, it could go in the glass of windows for buildings.
Yeah.
It could go on the sunroof for the cars.
That
and
is
we
so
just put
smart.
it inside of the glasses.
Do you see a difference when I do that?
Yeah, I can see your eyes when you're.
Trust me, the camera can see it.
Yeah. I need those for cycling.
I'm listening to
Those are
music, talking to
Camelot,
you guys too.
CHAMELO, Camelot.com.
Nice.
There you go.
No, don't take those off. You got to leave those
So
on.
those
for you.
right there, we basically came up with, so he came up with these and I was like, look, I could be the chief brand officer for this. I could promote it and push it all over the planet. Trust me, I could blow it up. And he gave it to me. He was like, all right, I'll support it. I'll, get the team. And he got the team. And we did it in less than 6 months.
Wow.
So it's just similar technology. Now I'm thinking about the actual music playing. Ray-Ban is using.
Yeah, it's similar to Meta. It has, all of the technology is not nothing different. It's not, it's just Meta doing it.
Yeah.
So that can be done with those same thing, but that's not our lane because Meta is Meta.
I like that because you can hear music, but also be aware of everything that's going on around you too.
Yeah. So you could be in your glasses and they could be talking to you on the phone like, yeah, this is what's going on right now, when nobody won't even know.
They look good.
Awesome.
Instead of a
And then
mic.
we go, there we go.
No more AirPods.
No more AirPods.
You don't got to stick nothing in your ear anymore.
Yeah.
If you look down the road, next 5-10 years, will you be back here full time? Are you going to continue back to China?
I'm going to be back and forth.
Back and forth.
But more for the last 15 years, I've been in China. I know it sounds. My mom was like, "Wow, it's really been that long." I'm like, "Yeah." So, but now normally I was there for between 8 to 10 months. Now I'm gonna split between six, maybe more or less. China, Hong Kong, in between, because I live in Hong Kong as well.
Mm-hmm.
So between New York, Hong Kong, and Beijing, it'll be a dynamic of
A little hybrid.
like a little bit more in New York, because my mom is getting older, so I want to see her more. And she's, it's crazy. Your parents start talking like that. And she's like, "Don't start looking at me like that. I'm 82 now. You begin looking at me like that when I was 50. Now you looking at me. I'm like, she's like, I'm older. I'm like, I know, Mom." So it's cool, but it's still right, your mom, right? At the end of the day,
No doubt.
but it's all good though.
Well, it's great. As a sports fan living in New York, it's great to see you back at the Garden. I know I'm going to see you tonight
For sure.
the Knicks game. It's
sure.
a special place, and it's always great to have guys come back. So thanks again for joining us today.
Yeah.
I really appreciate
For
it.
the hat, I
Real
appreciate
honor.
it.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Oh, appreciate you guys.
Appreciate
Thank
it, brother.
you.
Thank you.
Definitely. Thanks, my brother. We got to get a picture in.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks to Stephon Marbury for coming on to Club 30. We did it. I was chasing him around in springtime. He was here for the
It's been a year of trying to get him in the seat, and nice work getting him planted. That was a lot of
back
fun.
and forth to China this time around. It worked out. So great. Loved it.
The more we talked, and the more we could go down these different paths. I learned a lot of stuff that I'd never heard before.
It's very insightful too.
Yeah, I think it feels like his spirit, his mindset is in the right place. And it's funny, like we talk a lot about next chapter, right? And building that, and sometimes like life just kind of shows up and you have to kind of meet what it's giving you. And it sounded like that's how he embraced China.
Yeah.
Really tough time in his life, making a huge decision.
He needed a change, right? And to go to some place, not knowing the language and the culture difference, but talk about a restart, a fresh start.
Yeah, which ultimately brought him back again as a hero. Because when he was in New York, he was a big star, already had been a 2-time All-Star. But like they would boo him in the Garden. He didn't leave, it wasn't like the perfect swan song of kid growing up in Coney Island to going out on top with an NBA championship. It was kind of the opposite.
Yeah, and he touched on it. It was
did.
tough to end the way it ended. But it's great to hear his feelings now coming back and feeling the love and support from the Knicks fans. He loves to be part of it. And as huge fan myself of the Garden. You love to see it. You love to hear it.
When other people are as proud of it as you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just awesome. And look forward to connect with him tonight at the next game. But I hope you guys enjoy this one. I really did.
Yeah, me too. It felt like we've known each other for a long, long time, and it just felt good. I'm energized to get out there and into the city this afternoon.
Maybe we should go play some basketball.
Maybe we should shoot some hoops. Hope you guys enjoyed as well. You know where to find us, anywhere you get your podcasts, YouTube. And we'll see you next week.
That's right. See you next week.